What's going on, everybody? Today I'm going to give my comparison between the Asus ROG 5 and the LG V60. Now this just is a comparison, it's not life or death, so let's just have a little fun. All right, the ROG was released in 2021 and the LG V60 was released in 2020. Both of these are flagship devices, all right, because they both have flagship processors in them, or flagship chipsets, all right? Now, keep in mind, the ROG 5 is a gaming device, so it's going to be not slightly, maybe a lot more powerful than that of the LG V60, but like I said, it's still just a comparison. Now, the ROG 5 is also GSM only, while the LG V60 is unlocked for all carriers. So that's a big advantage for the LG V60. Now, when it comes down to design, of course, this is always going to be preferable, whatever you like. I prefer the design of the ROG 5. I just like it a little better than that of the LG V60, but that's just my opinion. So that's always going to be subjective. Next, when it comes to build quality, both of these have great build quality. When if you decide to use them without a case, Gorilla Glass, I believe Gorilla Glass 5 on the front, 3 on the back with this, 5 on the front, 6 on the back with this. So both have great build quality. Which one I like best, how it feels in my hand, I don't know. They're pretty much even for me, honestly. They're both great. Both, I say the LG V60 is going to be a lot less slippery than that of the ROG 5, if that means anything. Next, let's talk about button placement. Now, the button placement is different on both of these devices. Let's talk about the ROG first. So with the ROG, you see the power button is at the bottom, and you got your volume rockers on the same side as well. On the left side, nothing but the USB Type-C port where you can charge on the side here. But other than that, it's clean. Now, when it comes to button placement, the ROG 5 has the better button placement. You see how low it is? Like, there is absolutely no straining to get to it whatsoever. It's super low. This is probably the lowest volume rocker that I have on any of my phones. And this is a big phone. This is a big phone, and look how low the power button is. Now, this is where the power button should be on the Pixel phones, but I don't know why those morons always put the power button way up here. It's just stupid. All power buttons should be super low, easy for the consumer to get to. Now, when it comes to the LG V60, it's set up different. You got your dedicated Google button, and you got your volume rockers on the left. Now, some people like the configuration with the volume rockers on the left, because remember, years ago, every phone used to have the volume rockers on the left, but now they're putting everything on the right. But my biggest problem with the LG V60 is that the volume rocker is so high. I mean, this is where my thumb is. The power button is way up here. I mean, so literally I got to do some hand gymnastics just to reach it. I mean, it's ridiculous how high they put this. I don't understand why LG put the power button so high. It should have been right here. So when it comes to button placement, ROG 5 is superior to that of the LG V60. But for those of you that this button configuration, you don't mind it, you like it better, more power to you. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Next, let's talk about always on display. Both of these devices have an always on display. Just going to wait for this one to time out, but you can see the always on display on the LG V60, time, date, day, battery percentage, and your notifications, even though they're pretty small, but I mean, it's all there. When it comes, face unlock the phone, turn it off. Okay. Now, you see this? You see how dim that is compared to that of the LG V60? This is really a nice always on display, but it's just too dim. It doesn't get bright enough. Every now and then it may light up real bright, but it's not consistent. You can't adjust it. I don't like it. I prefer the always on display on the LG V60. Both are customizable. but you just can't turn up the brightness. It's too dim, and you do get the notifications, but the notifications are so, everything is the same color. You could kind of see what it is if you look close enough, but it's so small and dim, it makes it hard to see. So when it comes to always on display, LG V60, in my opinion, has the better always on display. Next, let's talk about the fingerprint sensor. Now, both come with an in-display fingerprint sensor. However, the fingerprint sensor on the LG V60 is better. Now, I don't like the position of it. You see how low it is compared to that of the ROG5? The ROG5 is right where it should be, right up here, not way down here like the LG V60. But when it comes to which one works better, the LG V60 definitely works better than that of the ROG5. It does work, but there's no haptic feedback unless you don't nail it the first time. If you don't nail it the first time, it gives you a vibration. Other than that, there's no vibration at all. You can change it, but I mean, it's just not that good, honestly. The LG V60 is just better, and you get haptic feedback and you get an animation, so it's just better on the LG V60. Let me go back to my wallpapers, because I don't use this phone all the time, so sometimes it'll just take it off. Okay, there you go. That looks better. All right, now let's talk about face unlock. When it comes to face unlock, the ROG5 has face unlock. The LG V60 doesn't. This face unlock is absolutely ridiculous. Look, I'm behind the camera, okay? I'm not even trying to make my face see this phone, and you saw how fast it opened. It's ridiculous. I just raised it up. I didn't reposition my face at all. All I did was raise it up, and it automatically seen even a part of my face and opened up. This is probably the fastest face unlock that I have on any of my devices, and I got the Vivo, I got the Mi 11 Ultra. Those are probably my two other devices that are somewhat fast as the ROG5, but the ROG5 is just ridiculous. The Vivo X Note 2 is ridiculous too when it comes to face unlock. But LG V60 does not have face unlock for those of you that care. I care. I want more than one biometric way to open up my device. Next, let's talk about dual stereo speakers. Now, both of these phones have dual stereo speakers. However, the ROG5 comes with two front-facing speakers that come with separate amplifiers and DTS:X sound. It also comes with an outdoor mode that can even make the speakers even louder. These are by far the best sounding speakers that I have on any of my smartphones. By far. LG V60 does have some great dual stereo speakers, don't get me wrong, but they can't compete with the ROG5. These are on another level, and just far as that stereo sound, the bass, everything is just better on the ROG5. But the LG V60 speakers are no slouch. These speakers get super loud as well. But as far as overall quality of sound, I'm definitely going with the ROG5. Next, let's talk about the display. Now, both of these are rocking a 1080p display. All right. So even on that now, but the LG V60 display can get brighter. There's an extra brightness little toggle you can toggle it on and make this display even brighter. But they're both really nice. Now, which one do I like better? Okay, let me say this real quick. They both have 1080p AMOLED displays. Okay, LG V60 OLED display, AMOLED. That's pretty much the same thing. Okay. All right. Now the difference. This can get brighter, but the ROG5 comes with a 144 hertz refresh rate. You're only getting 60 hertz on the LG V60. Excuse me. So that's the big difference to me. And also, see that right there? I don't like that. That little notch, I hate that. No notch on this. You just get even bezels at the bottom and the top. Really none on the sides. There are thicker bezels on the side of this, but because of this case, you can't see it. But I don't like that notch. I don't want a notch. I'd rather just have it all the way over evenly. I can't stand this notch. I hate it. But both of these displays are beautiful. You can't go wrong with either. But you can go from 60 hertz, 120, and 144 on the ROG5. I always use it at 144 because the battery can handle it. It's a 6,000 milliamp hour battery, and I want to use this phone at its max. So when it comes to just scrolling, it's not even close. I mean, seriously, the scrolling on this thing is absolutely ridiculous. It just says, hold up, let me just show you. It's just so fast. It's just so fast. I mean, you may not be able to really tell on this video, but trust me when I tell you, ridiculously fast and ridiculously smooth. Seriously, the 144 hertz is no joke. So if you turn it all the way down to 120 or 60, you're going to get even more battery life. But I mean, the battery life is really not an issue with this device. But this phone is just ridiculous. It's just crazy. So we're going to get there. All right, which we're going to get there right now. So when it comes to performance, which phone has the best performance? Is going to be the ROG5. Remember, this is a gaming phone. Now, the performance on the LGV60 is great as well. It's nice and smooth. You can see, I'm going to show you right now how fast everything comes on. The animation when it goes back. This is not no slow phone by any means. As you can see, everything opens up pretty quickly. Well, this one I hadn't used in a while, so that's why that one took a while to open. Boom. You see, everything opens quickly. Nice animation. So when it comes to performance, this is no slouch, trust me. But it just can't compete with ROG. This phone is just ridiculous when it comes to performance. It's so fast. Let me close everything out. And just let me show you. Just look, I mean, did you see how fast that came? Everything is just instant. Boom. It's just crazy how fast this phone is. It's just ridiculous. This is by far the fastest phone that I have. I mean, everything is almost instantaneous, as you can see. So if you're the type of person that wants a super fast phone, this is the one you want. Seriously. When it comes to performance, this phone is crazy fast. It really is. It's just crazy how fast everything opens. Crazy. So when it comes to performance, it's going to be the ROG5, definitely. But the LGV60 does have great performance as well. Next, let's talk about audio. Now, both of these come with a headphone jack. However, and I'm going to say however, but really not however, the 32-bit hi-fi quad DAC in the LGV60 is phenomenal. Now, with the ROG5, it only comes with a 24-bit DAC. But look, let me say this, and this is just my ears. Everybody's going to hear differently. If you have both of these, you know, then you could judge it accurately. But you can't say the LG's better if you never heard the DAC on the ROG5. You just can't. I know because I have both. To me, they're even. When it comes to overall quality of sound, they're both even to me. Because the sound that comes out of the ROG5 is just as amazing to me as the sound that come out of the 32-bit hi-fi quad DAC on the LGV60. That's my opinion. So you may feel differently, and you know, that's your prerogative. But I have both. I know how both sound, and to me the ROG5 sounds just as good as the LGV60, so they're even when it comes to audio. Next, let's talk about IP68 water and dust resistance. We're only talking about the LGV60. There's absolutely no IP68 water and dust resistance on the ROG5. Now, if you're a type of person that really don't need it, you don't have your phone around water, it's not going to matter. But for those of you that are, or you're the type of person you just want that peace of mind, then you want to go with the LGV60 because it's definitely IP68 water and dust resistant. Also, let me mention also, when it comes to price, and I forgot to mention that, you're going to pay considerably less for the LGV60 than that of the ROG5. This phone is still relatively expensive compared to that of the LGV60. I'm told people can find this for $200 or less. You ain't gonna find the RG5 for no $200. This phone is still between $600 to $700, and sometimes even more expensive than that. So, I mean, unless you look on eBay, eBay could probably have some cheaper prices, but this still is an expensive phone compared to that of the LGV60. Next, let's talk about internal storage. Now, the RG5 comes with 256. Now, there is a 128 gig variant, but I got the 256. And the LG comes with 128 gigs, but there is a 256 variant for this one as well. Next, let's talk about expandable storage. RG5 comes with 12 gigs. Expandable storage. Only the LGV60 comes with expandable storage, and it comes with expandable storage up to 2 terabytes. No expandable storage on the RG5, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Next, when it comes to RAM management, RG5 comes with 12 gigs of RAM. LGV60 comes with 8 gigs of RAM. Next, let's talk about the battery. Now, the RG5 comes with a 6,000 milliamp hour battery. LGV60 comes with a 5,000 milliamp hour battery. You're going to get great battery life with both devices. I can get a day and a half with the LGV60, and I can get 2 days on the RG5. So they're both great when it comes to battery life. I don't measure screen on time because that's irrelevant to me. It's all about how long the battery lasts and how much battery I got left from the time I get up to the time I go to bed. So I don't really measure screen on time because I'm not on my phone for 5, 6, 7 hours straight. I have a job. Okay, I got to go to work. There's other things I got to do. I can't just sit on my phone all day and, just 5, 6, 7 hours straight. I can't do that. So I only go by how, because I use my phones moderate to heavy. So at the end of the day, I judge how much battery I got left after so many hours, and I go from there. Next, let's talk about battery charging speeds. Now, when it comes to battery charging speeds, the RG5 has 65 watt super fast charging, can charge this 6,000 milliamp hour battery in 52 minutes. So less than an hour for a 6,000 milliamp hour battery. With the LGV60, you're only getting quick charge 4.0, and it's going to take you an hour and 42 minutes. So it's considerably slower than that of the RG5. Next, let's talk about wireless charging. Now, the LGV60 is the only one that comes with wireless charging. No wireless charging on the RG5, and I don't know if there's any gaming phone out there right now that comes with wireless charging. I don't think so. Now, there's people out there that don't care about wireless charging. I actually do because I have wireless chargers all over the place, and I use them all the time. But for those of you that don't use it, that's cool. But, try not to act like wireless charging is irrelevant, because it's not. If you just don't use it, you just don't use it. But, these modern cars are coming with wireless charging already built into the car. You go to the airport, you're going to see places in certain airports where you could just put your phone down and start wirelessly charging your phone, like certain restaurants or places inside the airport. More and more places are going to start adapting wireless charging. Even restaurants are going to start putting them type of things built inside their tables. I'm telling you, people like stuff like that. They like the convenience of being able to charge their device if they have to. So wireless charging matters, and it's going to become, I believe, a lot more prominent as time goes by. Next, let's talk about software. Now, the RG5 came with a Android 11. Supposed to get Android 12. For some reason, mine hasn't gotten updated yet. But not a big deal for me because it hasn't affected performance whatsoever. So I don't know why this one hasn't updated, but it hasn't. But no big deal to me. With the LGV60, you got Android 13. This is the last installment of Android. So this one is still on 11. This one is on 13. Now, when it comes to chipset, the RG5 comes with the Snapdragon 888, and the LGV60 comes with Snapdragon 865. Both of these perform extremely well, and they're both optimized very well. Now, let's talk about special features. Now, with the RG5, it comes with 2 separate charging ports, one here at the bottom and one on the side, which I told you about earlier. You got the RG light on the back. You got pressure sensitive gaming triggers up on the top here. One is here and one is here. And see that charging port here. And of course the charging port is a little to the left. Alrighty. Okay, also the overall operating system on the ROG5 is highly customizable. There's so many things you could change and tweak with this phone. A lot. Okay, comes with the 120 hertz and 144 hertz refresh rate. You get an LED notification sensor. You get outdoor mode, which remember I said you can make the speakers even louder than they already are. Definitely. I did a video on the different on the different batteries, a battery test with all my phones, and also a dual stereo speaker test with all my phones. So feel free to check those videos out. All right, and also you get Android Auto. Now, when it comes to the LGV60, it comes with dual screen case capability, desktop mode, pen support, dedicated Google button, dual apps, screen off memo, link to Windows, one-handed mode, and YouTube Live. Now, of course, there are going to be some other things, but I'm mentioning the ones that I really use. And last but not least, let's get to the cameras. Now, with the ROG5, you see these 3 cameras in the back here. Now, this phone does record at 8K, 30 frames per second, and also 4K at 60 frames per second on the rear camera. You could also shoot 1080p at 30 frames per second on the selfie camera. Now, the cameras on here are pretty good, but these are not flagship cameras. So if you're the type of person that's heavily into photography, then this is not going to be the phone for you. But if the cameras are not the biggest deal, then you'll be fine with these. I like the cameras on this phone for a gaming phone. I found them to be very good. Check out my full review on this device. Now, with the LGV60, of course, these have flagship cameras. You can shoot also at 8K 24 frames per second, 4K at 60, and 4K at 60 on the selfie camera. And these are definitely top tier flagship cameras that can still hang with the big boys today, in my opinion. Now, some people may say they disagree with that, and that's your opinion. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion. But I really believe the photo and the video quality of this device can hang with the phones out there today. I really do. So that's my comparison of the Asus ROG5 and the LGV60. I love both of these devices. I use this device. This device is actually in my rotation. This one is not because I don't like it, but I just hate that stupid notch and how slow it charges. So and how high that power button is. It just bothers me, and no face unlock. But I actually use this for my alarm. The speakers on here are so loud, this definitely wakes me up every morning without fail, because I can sleep pretty heavy. But these speakers wake me up to the point where I got to get out of the bed to turn it off because it's so loud and so annoying. So, and then I got an SD card in there, and I got a lot of movies and music and things stored on this phone. So I still use it. It's just not in my current rotation of devices that I use. So thank you all for taking the time to view this content. That ends my comparison between the Asus ROG5 and the LG V60. Hope everybody out there is staying safe, staying well, and I'll check you guys out in the next one. Peace.